Elements of fiction. Just as a painter uses color and line to create a painting, an author uses the elements of fiction to create a story to make his or her fiction stories more interesting. The elements of fiction are character, plot, setting, theme, and style. Of these 5 elements, character is the who, plot is the what, setting is the where and when, theme is the why, and style is the how of a story. Forster defines story as the chronological sequence of events, and plot as the causal and logical structure, which connects events. These definitions need some further clarification. A story is only a story if at least one event takes place, that is, something changes from state A to state B. Consider the following minimal stories. The crocodile eats breakfast. Fred jumped out of bed. The king died. Compare to this. The house has blue shutters. This last example is a description, rather than a story precisely, because no event takes place. Notice also that events in a story involve an animate creature of some sort, namely, characters, the crocodile, Fred, the king. Most stories involve a sequence of events, rather than just one event. Manfred Jan thus gives the following definition of story: a sequence of events and actions, involving characters. Events generally include natural and non-natural happenings, like floods or car accidents. Action more specifically refers to willful acts by characters. Forster's examples to illustrate the difference between story and plot are: the king died and then the queen died, story. The king died and then the queen died of grief, plot. There are no doubt countless novels, plays and romances which develop this basic story. Just 2 examples would be George Eliot's Middlemarch, and Anne Bronte's The Tenant of Wildfell Hall. Despite the similarities of the basic story, the causal and logical connections between events, that is, the plots of those 2 novels, are quite different. In Middlemarch, Dorothea Brooke marries the ugly, elderly and dry scholar Casaubon, because she hopes to share in his intellectual pursuits. Dorothea is unhappy, because Casaubon neither shares his scholarly interests with her, nor does he treat her with any affection. Casaubon dies of a weak heart, and out of a sense of intellectual failure. Dorothea, despite protests from her friends, marries the penniless Will Ladislaw, because he responds to her emotional and intellectual needs. In contrast, Helen in The Tenant of Wildfell Hall marries Arthur Huntingdon because she is attracted by his charm and good looks. Helen is unhappy because her husband turns out to be a vulgar drunkard who ill-treats her. She leaves him in order to protect their son from his influence, and only returns to him in his final illness. Huntingdon dies of his excesses. Helen marries the farmer Markham with the approval of her friends, because she feels she can rely on his virtue and good sense.